It's NFL Daily by Chat Sports, and we are visiting Blockbuster. Man, I miss Blockbuster. Those were the days. Now, if you went to Family Video, you had to stay away from the back room, especially if you were with your family, right? Well, we're talking Blockbuster trade rumors. 5 potential Blockbuster trades that could happen before the trade deadline. I got some big names of where they could end up coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, the bosses put a challenge out there to me. They said, you cannot get 20 subs off today's video. And I said, you know what, James? You're wrong. We're going to prove them wrong right now. Let's pull off 20 new subscribers to NFL Daily by Chat Sports. 20 of you. Stick it to the bosses. Subscribe now for daily NFL news and rumors, live shows, watch parties, mailbags, and more. This is the place for it all right here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Subscribe now for free. All right, let's start with Cooper Kupp. Here's a big one for you. Cooper Kupp to the Kansas City Chiefs. That, to me, it sounds like a big deal, but hear me out on this, folks. Cooper Kupp would be a perfect fit for Patrick Mahomes and what the Chiefs want to do offensively. Think about this. So the Kansas City Chiefs, they have kind of gone away from the deep passing game since Tyreek Hill left town. It is more so a short and intermediate passing game, which has played to Mahomes' credit, has made him a more mature passer. Cooper Kupp would line up exactly with what the Kansas City Chiefs try to do on that front. And if you're the Los Angeles Rams, I know some people are trying to talk about the Rams as this team that is having a bounce-back season that could contend in the NFC and all that. I'm still not buying this LA Rams team. I still think they're too old. I think they've lost too much over what they had from their Super Bowl team a couple of years ago. Now might be the time to trade Cooper Kupp. Well, you can get something significant out of him. In Kansas City, their offense would go to a whole new level because Mahomes, if we're going to be frank, needs receiver help right now. The numbers from Cooper Kupp, when he's healthy, he is still incredible, folks. Last season, in the 9 games he played, he had 812 yards and 6 touchdowns. So far in 2023, he's racked up 300 yards nearly in 3 games with a touchdown and 17.4 yards of reception. Cooper Kupp is really good. And Cooper Kupp, I'm not kidding when I say this, he might end up being a Hall of Famer someday. And if he plays around Patrick Mahomes, that'll certainly help his case. It wouldn't be cheap. I think it's at least a second-round pick, maybe more. But watch out if the Rams are going to make a move, if they're going to move on from Cooper Kupp, Kansas City would be that first team to give a phone call. What about the Chiefs? Should they trade for Cooper Kupp? What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in that comment section. Tell me what you think if Kansas City should make a move for a guy like Cooper Kupp. How about Devin White, the linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going from Tampa Bay to Buffalo? Now, here's the thing. I look at the Buffalo Bills right now. This is a team that isn't looking too hot. When you look at their roster on paper, that should be one of the top 3 teams in the AFC. No question about it. But they're not playing to their full potential. And I think if you're the Bills, remember, you're not just trying to win your division. You're trying to win the AFC and win the Super Bowl ultimately. They don't even look like the best team in their own division right now. They need drastic changes, and they could use help in that linebacker room. Devin White could be exactly what this team is looking for. Devin White not playing great right now. 38 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, no sacks, no forced fumbles. But this could be a situation where you get him cheaper than what his value would typically be because he's not playing that great. And frankly, I don't think Devin White wants to be in Tampa Bay. This could be the fresh start potentially he's looking for and be on a contending team here like the Buffalo Bills. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS for a $100 deposit match for daily fantasy made easy. Here is how Prize Picks works, folks. You pick 2 or more players and a prop that is associated with any of these given players. Now, for me, for example, I'm rolling with Kirk Cousins this week to have less than the number that is projected for him, 251.5 passing yards against Green Bay. And Sam Howell to have less than 237.5 passing yards against the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to ride with me, last week I made some cash. We can make some cash together at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Check out Prize Picks today. We head to Arizona. Standing in a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's girl, my lord, in the flatbed Ford. Great song. Budda Baker leaving that flatbed Ford in Arizona to head to Motown, getting a new pickup truck in Detroit as he joins the Detroit Lions. You look at the Detroit Lions, and this is a team that I think has a very good chance of being aggressive. Because if you're the Detroit Lions, you have been in such mediocrity and been such a joke for a long time. This is the first chance you've gotten in a while to really compete. And I don't think Dan Campbell and company is content just being one of the teams in the mix. I think they really need to elevate themselves. And you look at that Lions team, safety spot could be a position for them to kind of plug up a little bit potentially, and Budda Baker could be that difference maker they're looking for. So far this year, Budda Baker's only played in 2 games, but he's had 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. When he's healthy, he is one of the very best at his position. 3 straight seasons there, as you can see, from 2020 to 2022, with 98-plus tackles and 2 interceptions or more. Watch out. I would love to see Budda Baker get a shot with Detroit. Who's a player that's going to get traded at the trade deadline? Chime in that comment section. Give me a name or 2 that comes to mind that you think ultimately is going to get dealt. Weigh in. Tell us what you think. Chase Young, a player that's been talked about a lot when it comes to the NFL trade deadline. What about sending him from Washington to Jacksonville? The Jags' identity, even though Trevor Lawrence is the face of that franchise, the identity is still within their defense and being physical and tough and going after the quarterback. And we've seen the Jags have their fair share of pass rushers over the years. Chase Young, I think, could be what this team really needs. Be a difference maker this team needs to compete at this next level. They're the favorites to win their division, but kind of like some of the other teams we talked about, they want to do more than just win the division. They need another guy to help them get that extra push and get some help in that pass rush. And Chase Young can do that, and he can be there a long time. Sounds like the Commanders aren't really interested in paying Chase Young long term. The Jags are in a position where they could do this, where they could afford to pay Chase Young long term. Chase Young, there were some concerns going into this year about if Chase Young would be able to play to his full potential. The former number 2 overall pick who's dealt with so many injuries. Before this year, we hadn't seen him play as good as what he did in his rookie season where he had 7.5 sacks. Well, so far this season, Chase Young is putting it on like Donkey Kong as he's had 5 sacks already this year. He's managed to stay healthy. He is looked phenomenal, and coming into his own, Jags, I think, would be lucky to have him. Will Chase Young ultimately get traded? What do you guys think? T for trade, K for keep. What happens with Chase Young? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think is going to go down. Last on the list, the one you've probably all been waiting for, Jerry Jeudy. Jerry. We have him going from the Denver Broncos to the Cleveland Browns. With the injury issues surrounding Deshaun Watson that we've seen this year, the Browns, I think, are in a position where they need to plug everything up in the sense of that, hey, we can't depend on our quarterback necessarily. Even when he's been healthy, he hasn't looked that great. They can't depend on their quarterback. They got to be good everywhere, at every position. And that's where Jerry Jeudy can come in. Be a nice complementary piece alongside Amari Cooper. That makes a lot of sense. And Jerry Jeudy's got a lot of talent. Former first-round pick out of Alabama, was a 5-star recruit coming out. I mean, he is a terrific talent. But things clearly are not going right for him in Denver, and they're just not on the same page in that offense there. You get him to Cleveland, things could turn a corner, and we could see Jerry Jeudy really take that next step up. Last year, I thought was a huge step in the right direction when he had over 900 yards, 6 touchdowns, really turned things on in the second half of the year. If he can build upon what we saw from last year, if he goes somewhere else and gets that going, watch out. Jerry Jeudy could be a difference maker for a team like Cleveland who's trying to make the postseason. Subscribe now for more NFL coverage. We're going to be live at NFL Trade Deadline Day right here on NFL Daily by Chat Sports. We will see you then. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us.